Psychoanalytic theory by Sigmund Freud. According to Freud, personality develops through a series of stages, each characterized by certain internal psychological conflict. There are 5 distinct and sequential stages of Freud's development theory, where needs are to be met in each stage. Stages are oral, anal, phallic, latency, and genital. Personality structures as having 3 components: the id, ego, and superego. Experiences of the child during the growth periods influence the development of a well-adjusted personality. Structure of human mind: the conscious, the preconscious or subconscious, and the unconscious. Of human mind plays a very important role in the development of the personality.
Psychosocial theory by Erik Erikson. So Erik Erikson was a developmental stage theorist who took Freud's controversial theory of psychosexual development of Freud and modified it as a psychosocial theory. Erikson emphasized that the ego makes positive contributions to development by mastering attitudes, ideas, and skills at the age of development. This mastery helps children grow into successful, contributing members of society. During each of Erikson's 8 stages, there is a psychological conflict that must be successfully overcome in order for a child to develop into a healthy, well-adjusted adult. Erikson maintained that personality develops in a predetermined order through 8 stages of psychological development, from infancy to adulthood. During each stage, the person experiences a psychosocial crisis which could have a positive or negative outcome for personality development. For Erikson, these crises are of a psychosocial nature because they involve psychological needs of the individual conflicting with the needs of society. According to the theory, successful completion of each stage results in a healthy personality and the acquisition of basic virtues. Basic virtues are characteristic strengths which the ego can use to resolve subsequent crises. Erikson's 8 stages of psychosocial development include the following. Failure to successfully complete a stage can result in a reduced ability to complete further stages and therefore a more unhealthy personality and sense of self. These stages, however, can be resolved successfully at a later time. One of the strengths of Erikson's theory is its ability to tie together important psychosocial development across the entire lifespan.
The third view on how individual personality develops is social learning theory proposed by Albert Bandura. It emphasizes the importance of observing, modeling, and imitating the behaviors, attitudes, and emotional reactions of others. Social learning theory considers how both environmental and cognitive factors interact to influence human learning and behavior. What does social learning theory explain? Social learning theory suggests that social behavior is learned by observing and imitating the behavior of others, while behavioral psychology focuses on how the environment and reinforcement affect behavior. Bandura put forth that individuals can learn behavior through observation. For example, If a child observes their parent going to work every day, volunteering at a local community center, and helping their significant other with tasks around the home, the children is likely to mimic those behaviors. If rewarded, these behaviors become reinforced and most likely repeated by the individual. What is Albert Bandura's four process of learning? The first steps in the social learning theory of Bandura are: first, attention. It is a child experience in particular situation influence his ability to achieve a modeled behavior. Second, retention. Whatever skills are retained from what a child has observed are a collection of cognitive skills. Third, reproduction. The reproduced behavior is dependent on other cognitive skills that includes feedback from others. And the last one is motivation. The motivation to produce the behavior is influenced by various incentives, his own standards, and his tendency to compare himself with others.
First is the psychoanalytic theory by Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud emphasized the importance of the unconscious mind, and a primary assumption of Freudian theory is that the unconscious mind governs behavior to a greater degree than people suspect. Indeed, the goal of psychoanalysis is to make the unconscious conscious. The second one is the psychosocial theory by Erik Erikson. Erikson's psychosocial development theory emphasizes the social nature of our development rather than its sexual nature. Erikson suggested that how we interact with others is what affects our sense of self, what he called the ego identity. And lastly, the social learning theory by Albert Bandura. Social learning theory proposed by Albert Bandura emphasizes the importance of observing, modeling, and imitating the behaviors, attitudes, and emotional reactions of others. Social learning theory considers how both environmental and cognitive factors interact to influence human learning and behavior. Implication Sigmund Freud. Psychoanalysis has explained the child's resistance to learning in terms of unfavorable environmental conditions, asympathetic and critical teachers and parents, lack of preparations, and emotional blocking caused by anxiety and aggression in form of phobias or due to inharmonious parent-child or intraparental relationships. Erik Erikson. Erikson's psychosocial theory is a very powerful way for building self-awareness and for improving oneself, as it helps to understand a person's learning according to his or her personal differences. Hence, it is an integral part of the academics because it helps in teaching and helping others. Albert Bandura. Students learn by simply observing others, so we teachers are the role model of students. We must be good at mannering in front of children. Self-regulation techniques provide an effective method for improving students' behaviors.